Hi, I'm Venus.
I'm Laura.
Erica. That's my name, right? Yeah. With a C.
I can give a brief history of IchiP. IchiP, well, first of all, it stands for Ichigo Pantsu, which I will not translate for you. You can Google that.
Oh man, this question.
I think it'd be better to ask Venus those questions, but
A bunch of crotchety, nerdy adult women who love J-pop and dancing.
Okay, so about 10 years ago, I met Laura at an anime convention and we became friends. We found each other on the train home and we started talking.
But yeah, so you young kids nowadays don't know, but back in the day, there was an anime called The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and the ending theme had the first basic, like, major full dance, and we all learned it because we're huge nerds.
The Haruhi dance was a thing that everybody was doing at the time, all the kids, and so we figured out that we both knew it.
Oh my god, you know this dance? I know this dance. That's amazing.
And we thought we would do it together, so...
And we started doing anime Dansu.
We met up, and she pulled in more friends, and IchiP became a thing. Y'all ain't even listening.
And that just immediately brings people together. That's what we represent at our core.
And yeah, here we are. God, 10 years later. Jesus. But yeah, and we're all friends too, so that helps. And now we're gonna learn D&D.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I will be DMing Dansu Dragons, and I'm also producing this show. And I want to thank everyone for coming to join us as we do this preamble interview set for Session 0. I'm hoping to add yet another group of tabletop role players to my already busy schedule, and to see if I can combine my hobby of tabletop gaming and my profession of studio video work. So you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Delightful. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Session 0 of Dansu Dragons, presented by Game Phantom, filmed at JCMC Studios. I'm Mike Rovner. I write under the label of Game Phantom, and you can follow us on Twitter at GamePhantomDM. This is Dansu Dragons. It's going to be an actual play D&D show starring the members of IchiP.
Yay!
May I introduce Laura, Venus, and Erica. And today we're going to not actually play the game, but make characters, figure out if they have any connections, and tie them to the world, as well as build a bit of the world they're going to be playing in. Because we're going with very little prep, aside from a few campaign arcs I have in mind, and we're going to talk about the setting, how it's going to differ from some of the things you're familiar with if you've played D&D before, or any other tabletop role-playing game derivative of Tolkien fantasy. I could just keep talking. I'm sorry.
Quick question, when can we take these delightful pencils?
Yes.
Oh yes, you can each take and please hold up the color-coded pencils to each of your favorite colors as was selected for your dance troupe outfits.
Good job.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
And before we go further, Laura,
That's me.
you had requested to borrow some red dice for me to keep in the color coding.
Yes.
I have a Faustian bargain to make for you.
Okay.
This clear red die, 20-sider, I have here, has been one of the first few dice I initially owned. It is rolled incredibly bad luck for me. However, it also is rolled with that same bad luck aimed back at me. So here's the question. Do you want to risk a die that tries to screw its owner, or will try and beat a DM?
Ooh.
Cursed die. Maybe it's just... So maybe it's just cursed against you, though.
Well,
Have other people tried it and it was bad for them?
not on extended periods of use.
So yeah, I'll take it, man. Maybe it's just against you.
9.
Nah, 9. It's alright.
Well, below average, at least. So, Today we're going to be doing character creation, and we're going to talk to everyone about the character they want to create, and this episode is probably going to be heavily edited down. You're just going to see jumps all over the place over awkward silences.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Let's give them one to edit through.
Was that?
What?
Let's give them one to edit through an awkward silence. That should be enough of a jump cut.
If there's anything we're good at, it's awkward silences.
Glad to know. All right. So, as a few of you have talked about ideas,
Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm just going to pass out some blank character sheets. Basic 3-page character sheet. They are not collated. I have to give them out one page at a time. Okay.
It's fine.
Just like
I thought we did the prep work for this.
I thought my printer did the work for me. It did not. So take one, pass it over.
having
Oh
school
God, it is
flashbacks.
like school.
Yes, teacher. Make ready
Thank you,
photos at the
Mr.
end.
Rovner.
I'm not used to being called Mr. Rovner.
Hey,
Oh,
Mr.
God.
R.
Should we call you that?
Mr.
No.
Mr.
My soul.
Get all inner city up in
You could be
here.
like a cool teacher. We could call you Mike.
Oh, I'm wearing a sweater vest. I could be Mr. Belvedere.
No, you have to
Or
sit
Cotter,
backwards
welcome
on
back
your
up.
chair, though.
Oh, true. You have to come in on a motorcycle. I'm just
The
I'm
90s, it hurts.
Mr. Turner from Boy Meets World. Just
The 90s,
for
it
you
hurts.
young ones out there,
Thank you.
I just
This was
dated myself.
Well, for the younger ones out there, that was a prequel to Girl Meets World.
Oh my God.
That's right, that happened.
Did that happen around the same time of that weird show about Boruto's father? That's not my
Thank
joke.
you.
That's not my
I know, but still.
That was glorious, and that was glorious. Thank you.
You know what's really bad is that didn't even register to me as being the wrong thing.
All right. Well,
Well,
it's probably you nerds out there.
So, with these character sheets, you're going to select race, class, and background to develop the mechanics of your character, and then a backstory that informs how they got to that point in their careers. We're creating level 1 characters, and the at least area where the game's going to start is a seaport town of Southgate that is a local trading hub, both for the mountain kingdom to which it's a part of, and like various farm communities along the inland from the coast.
Wait, you said
It's a port city
Port City.
and a trade hub for the kingdom it's a part of, and on a kind of slightly more north than a Mediterranean Sea.
So it's warm.
Not quite warm, because the mountains right next door get really cold.
it's Switzerland.
Not quite that far north.
So, like, okay, give us
Northern
like
Italy.
like a state.
Like geographically, you consider this the city of
Maryland.
Maryland?
Southgate itself never has a full freeze,
Okay.
Okay.
All right, but it's not.
but
like
parts of the
warm.
kingdom do freeze. Yeah, but it's
I-
not
North
full.
Carolina.
So I have to bring a jacket.
Virginia, North Carolina.
Probably.
Okay.
Okay, but that's just the setting that we're going to start this campaign.
All right.
Okay.
But for now, we're just going to go over your ideas as I also pass out books, because I know 2 of you have come in today with some ideas already in mind. One of you with more than others, and the one with more also bringing a little bit of disturbing and a little bit of evil to the party's alignment chart.
Dun dun
I don't know.
dun.
Should start with Erica. I want to hear about
How am
this.
I gonna follow you guys?
Those of you
a
who,
while. Yeah.
those of you who have been following Game Phantom on Twitter have heard me discuss some of the earlier things brought up by Erica regarding her character.
It has been so hard to not discuss this. I mean, we kind of did a little bit. But
yeah, I
we've been
spilled
holding
beans.
back.
So we could
Stop
discuss
it,
most of this during this session 0, which I hope is a nice prelude for everyone for the upcoming campaign.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna explode anyway once we start talking. It's gonna-
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Erica, you had expressed a number of character concepts using a variety of races. You've been interested in some kind of giant kin, cat person, bird person, gnomes, and the character that has caused the most fire, I think, Tiefling.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. I want horns.
Yes, that can be
What's
done.
fun
No,
to say?
Tieflings are basically fiend-touched humanoids. In some settings, they're like an entire disparate race or cross-off of, like, shoot-off of humanity. In some settings, they just happen randomly in human populations. In this setting, we're going to go big, just like randomly throughout human populations. Like,
Randomly how?
like people with a bit of fiendish blood or heritage or born under certain situations might have this extraplanar touch and be tieflings. And every tiefling might look different based on a number of possible fiendish traits just existing over human traits.
Okay, well that's... Sorry.
Is it like a X-Men mutant type of thing?
A little bit, but just like in a medieval sense, like witch-touched or tiefling or fiend-touched.
Yeah, that's basically the backstory I had. Two
Okay.
human parents.
And if that's
Tiefling,
fine.
emo child, outcast.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
So there's, now, you can
didn't wanna
now
say
there's
it.
a short list of example fiendish traits in this book, but the tiefling base stats are right here
drives me
in the player's handbook.
Okay.
So let's pass that over to you for now.
When I first read the word tiefling and I didn't read it, it sounds really cute in my opinion.
They can be.
Baby teeth.
They can be. Now, there's going to be some information on there, but you've chosen your race. And let's actually, before we get all the stats now, because you have to arrange your stats first.
That does look cool.
We can show.
Show the class, Erica. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I know a lot of you joining this show might be joining because you already enjoy watching D&D stream shows, or you're joining because you're already fans of IchiP. So this is going to be a learning experience for everyone who joins in on one way or the other. Or maybe you're one of the people who knows our cast or knows me and has heard me hype up this project I've been working on. In which case, to those of you personally, I apologize.
So a point I would just like to make in general that we were discussing earlier today about how we were discussing in real life if we're lawful good or whatever. I'm obviously lawful good or lawful neutral at my most rebellious. So I am going to try for something that is not that or maybe just partially that. So Erica, you said you were...
I'm true neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I tried to take a quiz as this character in the mindset came back to true neutral, so I need to push the evil.
I really want to
And this is just a general statement from me in the games I run. I cannot cope with running chaotic evil players. There have been problems in the past.
Okay, but I know the type of people that usually play chaotic evil players, chaotic evil characters,
Yes.
and Erica is not the type of person, so I'm
I know,
really interested to see.
No, also,
Erica's chaotic evil.
Chaotic evil.
Lawful evil.
Yeah, actually, you'd be lawful evil. That's true.
My mistake.
And Venus, what was your true neutral?
I'm true neutral, and sometimes I lean somewhere between true neutral and lawful good, but lawful neutral. But so I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll just
decide
like
what you would like
we'll
to
just
play.
See what happens.
Yeah.
You're going to play a tiefling. Now,
Oh,
you've
well-
mentioned... What?
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
This is why I want to go last.
Okay.
Specifically because
Because your other options.
yeah, I have 10 other.
We're gonna need this just a little.
I
to
will
deal with
make something
Erica's.
based off whatever rounds out the group.
Okay, that sounds great.
But
Oh boy.
back of your mind, I'm gonna be.
What are
Okay.
you leaning towards right now?
Yeah.
If we weren't
Yes.
a consideration.
The tiefling or half giant, half human.
Yeah, you've been talking about this a lot.
So put me on hold. Let's shift it over.
All right.
I guess I have to
Laura?
go next. Don't I?
Now,
Do you have
had
an
in previous discussion, you had asked me about cooking-based magic.
Yes.
Excuse me.
And I said that we can reflavor anything that has magic to work, but I also have a bit of public playtest material that is available for those who play the game and want to give feedback to a thing that might show up in a later product.
Okay.
This is available from the guys who make D&D for free, called Unearthed Arcana, a playtest article. This is the Artificer.
Ooh.
Artificier.
I will.
They make things.
Oh my. I will.
Artificer.
read this a moment.
Well, you don't have to read the mechanical stuff, but what were you thinking race-wise?
Okay, well, I had two main ideas. Okay, so the first one, I'll just go over because I had a pretty set story here, depending on, again, if it rounds out the party. So while we were talking online, we thought it'd be hilarious if we were just a bard party and it was all bards.
Yes.
I have done that, and that is incredibly fun.
It'd be hilarious.
I would be so bad at that. I'm
Yeah, so would
sorry.
I. Well, so would I.
dance
But that's part of the. Okay, so basically, since I'm really bad at singing, but I
Yeah.
thought being a bard would be really fun. No, it's fine. I have many other talents, like dancing.
Dancing.
But there's a reason we're not an actual
Idol group.
that sings. Anyway, so my thought was a gnome or a Lightfoot halfling. I
Okay.
originally thought halfling, but then I read that the gnome is actually probably a lot closer to the character that I came up with. Basically, they're trying really hard to be a bard, but they're just not very good at it.
That is you.
Aw.
See, I don't want it to be too close
No.
to me, but either people like encourage them even though they're really bad, like if you guys ever saw or heard of Florence Foster Jenkins. Florence Foster Jenkins was this patron of the arts who was this woman who was like really, really rich. They made a movie of it recently. And the thing was, she was so rich that she would literally like buy the theater for a night so she could sing, because she really liked singing. But she was just so bad.
They had not invented karaoke yet?
No.
Aww.
This was like in the 1800s, I think. Yeah, it was like a long time ago.
Wasn't there a movie recently about her?
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Okay.
So, it's a pretty good movie too, but,
I don't like this.
So she's really, really bad, but nobody has the heart to tell her that she's terrible, because she has like a lot of issues in her life, and so I thought maybe we could do something like that, and or everyone is just really annoyed by me, and that's the reason I start adventuring, because either so yeah, one of the things was I wanted it to maybe be a trading village, and people would just stop coming to the village so that they could avoid me. And so the family would kind of be like, go adventure, you know, you're great, go and, you know, show other people your singing talents, get out of the village so that people
Please leave.
Get out
now.
Start coming back to the trading village. So actually I was considering a coastal trading village, so maybe just...
This is a bit bigger than a village, and one voice could not truly drop, but I see the concept.
But it could be like related, but anyway, that's just
I like it. It's got legs.
And or like the whole village is kind of like about me. So the police would charge them with a minor crime, so they could be like, oh no, you have to go on the run now. Bye. Because you jaywalked or something, whatever the rules are here.
It's hilariously cruel, but
Yeah. So I don't know, and then I really like bad puns, so I thought I could use that with this character, where they're like trying really hard, and then, you know, people get tired of their fun. Anyway.
I appreciate a good pun.
But I thought maybe...
Or a bad pun.
In terms of the party, like, they could have that personality, but maybe have a, like, surprising, useful skill, like lockpicking or cooking, I thought might be a good one.
Okay.
Which would be really fun.
What made you come up with the cooking, though?
I don't know. I think it was the randomizer.
Oh,
that you did. Someone was
okay.
like something about cooking,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, cooking magic.
That
would be
didn't
fun.
seem like it was anything in your wheelhouse.
Is there like top chef in this world?
Can there be?
Can there be
top gnome chef.
top gnome chef?
We'll see what shakes out.
Okay. And then that was really the idea I was kind of going with. But let's see what else was there. And then, okay, my second idea, can I use genasi in this setting?
Those are basically, for those of you who are not familiar with them, and for some of our players who are unfamiliar, they are similar to tieflings in that they are humans touched by extraplanar energy, except rather than being fiendish or celestial, as tieflings being fiend touched, genasi are touched by elementals, or the elemental planes.
Oh, so that's why you have the fire,
Yeah.
whatever.
I have a note here that says, looks so cool, hot, ha ha ha.
So yes, genasi, fire genasi is certainly viable.
Yeah, so I didn't
Plain
really
touch.
think as much about this one, but okay, so the lawful good, because that's like a character trait of that race. And also, I'm lawful good, so you know, whatever. I just thought it'd be fun to be either a sword mage or a flame archer, because that would look cool. I was thinking about stuff that looked cool. And then...
Okay. So,
but then that would also
two
be-
different types of gish. I gotcha.
Yeah, but then that might work with the cooking magic, because I'm fire, and I could, like, cook stuff.
Interesting.
Hold it
interesting.
in your hand. Be like, here,
You know.
here is your cooked food now.
Interesting. Okay.
That's pretty much all I had for that one. And then in general, I just had some fun things that I wrote from that randomizer that you showed us. I wrote cooking magic. A character could have a tattoo of a map that doesn't mean anything. They just kind of got it because they thought it made them look really cool. You know, like when people get Chinese character tattoos and they like don't know what they mean, but they're just like, look at this.
It's a soup dumpling.
Yeah, so it's the equivalent of soup dumpling, but like a map tattooed on your back, and people will be like, "Oh, what's that?" And be like, "I can't talk about it. I'm too
map of a
mysterious."
soup
Actually
dumpling.
go anywhere?
No,
Is
The
it like
map
a
of
real
like the
world
back of your
place?
house?
I don't. Well, I thought maybe it could be fun if maybe like I just got it because I was like, "Oh, this looks cool," but it's not a real map. But then we find out that it actually is a real place or something.
Spoilers.
I don't know. Sorry, no spoilers. And yeah, that's just some generic stuff.
Okay.
And then, if you have any suggestions for like cool locations, I already thought of the coast or the trading town. And then I figured, or a cliffside village I saw online. And I thought that would be kind of fun if that made me like claustrophobic. So if we go into dungeons, it could be problematic and be interesting.
Okay.
What?
I'm happy to hear you thinking of character flaws like that.
Yeah, that's pretty...
Underwater village. Which
Underwater
would go good with
village.
your fire body.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, that wasn't when I... Anyway.
That sure makes for steamy situations.
Oh!
Get ready for a lot of that, by the way.
Prepare yourselves.
Yeah. Anyway, that is all the ideas that I had.
All right.
You guys have any thoughts on those?
I don't like that fire thing.
I'm jealous that you had ideas.
Either of those concepts work, either going Gnome Bard or Fire Ganassi. I can easily see the Fire Ganassi being either a warrior that specs in at level 3 to the warrior subclass that gets you a limited amount of magic to do sword and magic. There's also the Warlock class, which gains magic from pacts with creatures from other planes and grants power, and you can build a Warlock to be sword and magic.
Neat.
Or you could play a wizard with a particular arcane tradition that lets them do sword play and magic. In most settings, it's relegated to elves, but in this one, I would let you use it.
Okay.
So, what do you want to go with?
I mean, I'd prefer the gnome.
Okay, Gnome Bard is
I've
easy.
really been.
Do it.
It's so you.
Yeah, I know it's really neat though. But like we were talking about this earlier, I don't know if I want to be really close to myself.
Okay, yeah.
But also the problem you were mentioning is that that I've had in other D&D games
Oh,
that
yeah,
I've
yeah,
like, leaned into, or whatever you call it, just played like one game of, is that if my character's supposed to be like super smart, like I'm not that smart, so I can't roleplay being smarter than I am.
So you don't want to play a wizard?
So I mean, I could try, but I think it might be a lot easier. And I also just really want to make puns the entire time. It would be a lot easier with...
Nothing precludes any character. Oh, wouldn't be easier.
No,
Nothing
I know, but you know what I mean.
Thematically.
Thematically, yeah.
Little.
You know, it's for you. I would have placed you as like high elf cleric.
Yeah, I really thought you were going to go like that way.
Even though it's holy, like holy magic, right?
Yeah,
But you're an
divine
atheist,
casters.
So it's like you're confused.
Little juxtaposition there.
That'd be kind of interesting. To be honest, I didn't even like go for anything that was like traditional D&D, like an elf. I'm like, oh, that would look pretty, but you know, that's too much.
Additionally, at least, now we're actually to a part where I talk about the status quo of the setting we're working on. For the most part, elves, aside from small, mostly isolated communities of wood elves, seem to have faded into myth.
No elf.
The wood elves exist and are seen with like some infrequency, but they're mostly isolationist. But they do exist, and they are and them and other elves are options for player characters, which would start you off on a very distinct and different track at the start of the game.
Yeah.
There are things to explore there. And also, speaking of traditional fantasy races, at the current point in my setting, or at least in this major region, the dwarven people are in diaspora.
Right, as
What
they usually
does
are.
that mean?
Basically,
That too.
Yeah.
for a general note for the setting that we're putting together here,
That's fine.
the major dwarven holds, both in mountain and cliffside throughout this region, like a good half of the continent, have all flooded, and the dwarves have been driven up either into the highest reaches of their old mountain of their under mountain homes, or into human kingdoms.
That's so sad.
And that's been the state of things for about 500 years, so about 2 generations of dwarves.
Dang.
Wow.
That sucks though.
So on the one hand, there's a big difference between dwarven traditional hardliners and dwarves who are integrated into the society they've wound up living in, or at least culturally integrated, while still being distinctly dwarf. Moving around a lot, not necessarily holding a lot of long-term property, that sort of thing.
That's so sad.
It is sad. But there's a reason for it, and why it happened. Perhaps that'll come up during the course of this campaign.
Ooh.
Too deep,
Serious.
too real.
Yeah. Okay,
Foreshadowing.
Cool. I'm probably gonna go with the gnome then.
All right, and you'd like to... So,
And
gnome,
it's easier for me because they're really bad at singing, so
gnome bard?
Huh?
So gnome bard.
yeah, if I can do that, then
All right.
sweet. Cool.
Sweet buffs.
I'm gonna sing at your food.
And
Cook, you son of a bitch.
basically. Anyway, yeah. Okay.
This is nervous laughter now because I know I'm next and I have
All right.
nothing
Okay.
prepared. I have
So-
almost nothing prepared.
Go. Well, let me give you the basic stat array in the player's
This is already overwhelming.
Prepare for the test.
Yeah, I didn't do the homework. I'm a bad student.
Okay.
What you gonna do about that?
Should read the book.
No. I tried.
Well, you know,
Well, it's okay. It is dense
He's
reading.
making a mark in his grade book like 0 for the day.
Do homework. Doesn't pay attention.
For someone coming in new to D&D, it's a dense read.
Yeah, it's
Well, it's like we were saying before, you know, it's not like I'm unfamiliar completely. It's
Yeah.
not like this is all new concepts and stuff for me. I just, I don't know. There was nothing that was like
Jumping
really,
out at you.
yeah.
In the basic set, which is
Right.
like only half the player options.
But then like going into the rest of it was so overwhelming, and
Yeah.
I couldn't muster up the energy to
Okay.
like even look at it. But the little bit of idea that I did have
Go
was
on.
making fun of myself and playing a halfling.
Go ahead. Continue.
The end.
Well, you have 3 varieties of halflings to choose
Wait,
from.
3? I thought there were 2.
There are 2 in the player's handbook. There's an additional one.
Jesus Christ.
if you play.
There's an additional one. There's an additional sub-race of halfling presented in one of the books I have here.
Okay, what are...
And then they stand on top of each other. It will be the same height as Erica's character.
Yes! Let's do that.
Unless she plays the half-giant.
Then we'll have to be on our tiptoes.
The 3 types are, of course, Lightfoot, which are swift and sneaky, Stoutheart, which are basically hobbits,
Party, yeah.
and Ghostwise, which have minor telepathic ability.
None of those really...
Should do Ghostwise, because I know Erica, we had discussed before something about necromancy.
Are we gonna give away
we-
all the spoilers? Or
Is that not really a spoiler?
I mean,
Is
I'll
it?
let Erica talk about it though.
What? No. So I was picturing you as.
Oh, you had ideas for me. Jesus.
Sorry.
That would have been nice to know a while ago, but thank you. Go ahead.
No, because I thought you had stuff.
Yeah.
So the elves. Was it the elves are gone?
The elves are mostly withdrawn.
Wood
yes,
elves
aside from
exist.
aside from the wood elves, which are like
Do not make me a wood elf. Oh my god.
Which are-
I am not.
Sorry,
no, we're
that's
not
what I
doing that thing.
What's the highest population of elves currently? Which ones?
probably. I'm going to say like the largest population is compared to like a very reclusive community that's about, for the wood elves at least. The highest population of those would be like half the size of a human city because elves are long-lived. They don't have like a rising population.
Absolute numbers?
I can like the largest elven city is perhaps about 10,000 elves.
Oh,
or the largest of the elven communities for wood
Right.
elves.
Okay.
I will not say anything about the size of the other missing elf communities.
Okay.
Fair.
So like.
You want me to be a wood elf?
Yeah. Who like runs the city library?
That would be so cute.
Okay, you actually made that a little tempting. That's
Oh, nice.
cute. I wanted to make fun of myself though.
Okay. But you also felt very archery
Yeah.
because you made a point of
Point.
liking-
Point.
What?
Arrows.
She's getting a
not
jump
points.
on. She's getting a jump on the punmanship.
Gross.
Prepare yourself
good.
for a lot of that.
You're welcome.
If anyone goes to Punderdome, don't go up against Laura.
Yeah.
Actually, I have never been, but I really want to go this year. It's not related, but
But yeah, you want me to be a librarian, archer, wood elf.
okay. You don't.
What? Do you have any ideas?
I don't have any ideas, but I think you should definitely be a librarian. I don't care what race
So, like,
it is.
You guys want me to be a nerd?
I'm gonna be a bad.
Well,
we're all gonna be
presumably-
nerds. We're
Presumably,
playing.
if you're going to be focusing on archery, you're going to be a nerd who can also break a jack in half.
Cool. That sounds fun.
Okay. Think about it.
I mean, it's fun.
I mean, I don't know. I have nothing.
Okay, she's gonna be a librarian.
Thank you for deciding
Okay,
for me.
So that's probably going to be the sage background, I imagine. Are you going to be elf? Are you going to stick with halfling? What are you going to do?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't.
Okay, which are you?
See,
more
now you're giving me
comfortable with?
options, and that's
Okay.
just gonna make me
Wood
panic.
elf or halfling?
I don't know.
Here, wait. Okay, even is wood elf.
Halfling. It came up 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Halfling.
Okay.
Halfling librarian.
All right, and now let's determine class for this archer-focused barbarian, this
Christ.
archer-focused librarian.
Classy.
Now, the traditional easy options are going a fighter, who specs into any possible subclass to focus on archery later. A ranger, who, you know...
Well, that's a decision made.
So ranger.
Wait, but does ranger make sense for librarian?
Archer.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that's background of
Okay,
professional
well,
versus...
maybe you know that, yeah.
Being a
exactly.
ranger is also being a woods person. Maybe you're to decide to finally go out into the world as a woods person, has read all about nature for all this
So I
time.
have a job and I also have a hobby, all right?
Okay. All right.
Maybe you're making the shift you want to
So
be on.
ranger and background is librarian, and which variety of halfling?
Lightfoot, because you have to stay quiet in the library.
Well, being ghostwise would allow you to, you know, shush people without even saying anything.
That's true. That's not bad.
I don't know.
I think you should do Lightfoot because that was my idea. But
I know, but I don't want to take your idea. But I don't know. He's not. I don't know.
Okay, how about we make a list of things you like in role-playing games in general?
That is an empty list.
Okay. We got these dice for a reason. Okay, wait. So between the what's the one? The
Ghostwise and Lightfoot.
Ghostwise is even. Lightfoot is odd.
We're really.
Yeah.
No, don't roll a d4. What's wrong with you?
There are 3 numbers on there.
I forget
We
what
didn't
I said.
decide what was odds and evens, did we?
I don't know. Okay.
Wait, can I see the book? What the
right.
rules are?
So.
Don't have to be a
Okay.
ranger.
Even
Hustling.
is the ghost.
Ghostwise.
You a ghost.
Ghostwise
I'm
halfling.
going ghost.
All right, I'll...
Ghost. That's it.
So what we're going to do
I don't know,
first...
I'm too old for that.
What we're basically going to do, once everyone knows what they're going to be, we're going to go through each of your sheets step by step to fill them out. That'll be very boring. I'm going to probably edit out most of that except for the highlights. And then we're going to tell you what the best way to arrange your stats is. Then we're going to add your racial modifiers. Then we'll do your first level of your class. And then we'll do your background, which will give you some more skill proficiencies and some other bonuses. So, going to be a
Halfling ranger, apparently.
Ghostwise halfling.
Ghostwise halfling. I'm going to write that down.
Okay.
Oh, I get to use the fresh eraser. Oh, this is nice. It sure is.
It is a
smooth.
sinful pleasure, a decadence that is very rarely known, a fresh eraser.
He's good.
Very nice. Race.
First place.
I'll show myself.
So do we currently have anyone who can do proper heals or
That's important. Isn't
The bard and
Heals?
the bard and ranger. The bard gets on their spell list a number of healing spells. Additionally, the bards, as they level up, have a special ability allowing them to get spells from other people's spell lists.
Yeah,
I'm cheating.
So bards are very easily capable of being healers, and rangers come with class features that can also heal, depending on as you level up. If you choose, you want to go. Do you want to go spellless ranger or regular ranger?
I don't know.
Because that's a very
I mean, this decision was just made for me. I gotta get used to it.
Let's stay vanilla, regular ranger. So with spells, so you get healing magic as well as you level up.
my intention was to be support, healer, stuff like that.
So you
And
want me to be
bards-
the not healer one?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
So we have at the moment someone who can fight in a ranger, either archer or with a dex weapon. Someone who can do heal and support, and also maybe do some more fighting as well on the bard. So that means the party could use either a dedicated tank or arcane battlefield control.
Oof.
Oh, girl.
Tough.
that's both my options?
I know. The bard also covers another role, and being because you're also Lightfoot halfling, sneaky Pete's, and people who can disarm traps.
No, I'm
Sneaky Pete's.
ghostwise.
Oh, you're Ghostwise still.
Okay.
Basically, utility skills, the rogue, the thief. Bard gets a lot of the abilities similar to the thief, so that covers a little bit of that base.
Okay.
Bards are jacks of all trades. In fact, that is a class feature the bards get, jack of all trades.
Cool.
Basically,
Be Jacqueline.
so,
Okay.
decisions.
That makes this difficult. Okay.
Difficult.
No. So if I do a giant, I'd like to have a super big axe.
Easily done.
Can this axe be cursed so that
Oh my god, please.
it, like,
I love you so much.
at the sight of blood, turns on, just gotta murder, gotta kill?
Such a thing exists. You are asking out the gate to have a cursed item at level 1.
Yeah.
Now, magic items
I know,
are...
that's a big wish.
I'm sorry, Erica, I just want to point out that you just asked for a really big axe. Never mind. That's
I got
heard-
it.
Yeah. Talking
Cool,
about-
already got it.
All right.
If you know what I mean.
Take out that big axe and grind across the club.
Does anyone of us have a club? We should get a club. Anyway.
I hate myself for that, by the way.
Oh, good. That's good. I appreciate it.
Okay. So, I guess the giant would be a paladin.
Okay, now
What are
paladins are normally associated, so we are not going to get the necromancer putting the romance back in necromancy, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe.
Maybe? As your backup?
Please, oh please.
Yeah.
Why are you so adamant about that?
Because you've been wanting to do something like you love that kind of story. And you get to, and I would love to see you play evil, and I would love to see
That
you
would be
play,
cool.
and
Okay.
then you and
Okay. I'm gonna do
evil.
it. Okay.
Okay.
Tiefling, human
Okay.
person.
Tiefling necromancer?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right then. I'm going to give everyone then the base ability array because this edition is built on an array, though you can if you want to. Do we want to try and roll stats and see what the random grab
Oh
bag would
God.
instead of what?
be? Instead of using a preset array where you choose your strengths and weaknesses.
Roll stats.
What's your-
Let's do this.
What's your recommendation? Full stats.
My recommendation for this edition, because it helps you build things more easily and plan ahead, is taking the array. There's a big risk between payoff and reward for rolling stats.
Yeah, that's true. What were we gonna say, Eric?
Oh no, I was gonna ask if I could have a familiar with my tiefling.
Well, guess what? Wizards get a spell to acquire a familiar rather readily.
Yes.
What are you gonna have?
Skeleton boyfriend.
Oh my
Oh my God.
It's all you have.
No, the
That's a bit bigger than
Okay.
That's like
Skeleton
What
cat.
if it's just What
about
if it's
a
just
bear?
like a bone?
A bear is bigger.
It's just a bone. Then we can make so many jokes.
Oh my god, okay.
Amazing.
Can I just collect bones as I go to make a person?
Build your own. Everything's a JoJo's reference. Build your own.
you get magic
Familiar.
to create an undead and control a singular undead by the time you get 3rd level spells.
Okay.
So like 6 levels into play.
So it'll have to wait. The back.
But you
okay.
could start collecting the bones
Yeah.
to build your
All right.
familiar. Build a bear.
In most D&D
backstory for that.
campaigns, I assure you there is usually no shortage of bones. The way most people play the game.
You know what
All
I mean?
right.
But you know about that.
There's so many ways that could go.
You think that's not why I'm encouraged?
So what are the
yeah.
weapons for that?
For
For a necromancer, yeah.
necromancers don't usually rely on weapons, though they're proficient with like a very small number of weapons because they're a wizard base. But necromancer's power mostly lies in the fact that they're a wizard and have spells. You have 0 level spells which you can throw around willy-nilly. That's scale and power as you grow stronger. And as a necromancer, you have certain abilities that will ride or enhance your necromancy.
Okay, dang, because I really wanted daggers.
You can have daggers. That's like easy. That is
You want
easy
to
street.
switch? You
You
want to
get
be the
daggers.
ranger? I'll be the wizard.
Why?
You said you wanted daggers.
Yeah, that was for a different
Daggers are
character, in
like
case you
most
didn't go with
people are proficient with daggers.
And Venus, you have to be a ranger.
I know.
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yeah.
That is
I made that
multi-fandom.
decision when I got dressed this morning.
That is multi-fandom representing right there.
Yay!
Can I have a staff?
Yes, you can have a staff. It can be your arcane focus.
Can I do poisons?
Yes, if you choose to be proficient in poison maker's tools, you can make poisons and use them.
I really hope we don't get our potions.
I'm so glad you went after me. I could not follow you if I wanted.
Okay.
It is really
My
fun to
God.
make up your character, though, Venus. Let me say.
Thanks, guys, because I had nothing.
Ooh, sorry.
Oh no.
All right. Yeah.
She did more damage to my elbow than.
Welcome back to Dansu Dragons. I'm your host, Mike Rovner, and your GM for the game. Or DM. However you prefer to do it for generic or on brand.
You're the M.
You're the DM from AM to PM.
Oh!
Nice.
Okay, so
That's your job.
we
You
just
can't
availed
talk
ourselves of
that
a short
hard.
break. What we're going to do is each of you take a piece of scrap paper, and you're going to roll 4 6-sided die and drop the
46.
lowest number.
Oh, okay.
6 is this one, right?
It's a
Just
cube.
the cube,
It's the regular one.
the basic die.
Oh, so that's
Guys,
8.
we should pool our cubes.
Oh, you cute.
Okay.
right.
Wait, what are we doing?
We need,
Sorry.
we need an extra D6.
Wait,
I will provide if you're going to use the same 4 dice together for this.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
So each of you are going to pull those dice, and you're going to roll the 4 dice. You're going to drop the lowest number, and you're going to record the total 6 times.
Are we going in order, or are we gonna rearrange?
You arrange after you do
Okay.
it. We don't do it in order. That's like first edition.
Okay, so
Okay.
we drop the lowest number?
And so it was that more than 3 hours passed in rules minutia and background discussion. Some of it went smoothly, some of it had difficulty, as there were issues with narratives that needed resolving regardless of the mechanics. But the 3 of them persevered through, and I doubt you want to watch 3 hours, mostly of me reading rules and explaining stats. So we're just gonna skip that part, and I'm recording this voiceover to jump us ahead. And I'll do things like, I don't know, there's gonna be a graphic here, probably. But we rejoin at the tail end of this as we put together the finishing touches of background onto Erica's tiefling, and then begin discussing how the group came together.
Well, with that, welcome back, everyone, to Dansu Dragons. We just took some time off camera going through some of the minutia of equipment and backgrounds, and, well, we got everyone finished up now, and we're just going to go through...
I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done. We're just going to finish up Erica's charlatan background. As she put.
Charlatan.
And we are going to finish out her, well, you got a personality. We're going to do bond, flaw, and ideal once I find the damn page.
Yep.
Here we go, getting there.
Meanwhile, I got my hands on a knob.
We rolled everyone's random trinkets at the start of play.
Oh, wait, what was my trinket?
Oh, your trinket, a small cloth doll, your needles.
Do you not remember your voodoo doll?
No. Oh, okay, I'm just
Ow.
gonna write voodoo doll.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is.
Okay, so
Terrifying.
you have, for ideal, you have the options of independence. I am a free spirit, no one tells me what to do, which is chaotic. Fairness, I never target people who can't afford to lose a few coin, lawful.
Aw, that's sweet.
Like, you're not going to pickpocket a poor person, you'll pickpocket the guy who has the nice doublet vest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he deserves it. What an asshole.
Ideal.
Charity, I distribute, that's not for this character. Creativity, I've never won the same con twice. Friendship, material goods come and go, but bonds of friendship last forever. And aspiration, I'm determined to make something of myself. What did you pick?
I can't have multiples?
You can, well, these are the ideals. This is like a singular
Okay.
thing you apply to what you want to say matches what your idea is for your character.
Pickpocket, only the rich.
Okay, fairness. That goes into your lawful status.
Friends are forever.
Yeah.
Yay!
Does that mean my character is like so super not into friends? So if you find like a good friend, he would keep them.
Oh my god, it's literally forever, because you're a necromancer, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're never leaving me.
There we go.
That's so beautiful, sort of.
Can you help my friend? It's just be careful. He might blow away in the wind.
You didn't need him anyway.
Oh my god.
You got me now, kid.
Back across the list and just get some establishing things from you, and we're going to also flesh out a bit of the setting.
Sorry?
Well, we've
flesh out the
gotten everything done that we need to for right now.
Oh,
You
okay.
have complete sheets, you have attacks, you have spells, you have weapons.
You have
points.
spells. I'm just making fun of
You
myself.
have-
No, I'll get them eventually. I know.
Always put a spell on me. I made that joke like 10 times. I'm gonna stop
No,
eventually,
I
but
actually did really still want to get cast familiar.
So you have to get rid of one of your other ones, right?
Well,
Yeah, but you could just lend me 5 gold and I can.
No!
Gold. We haven't met yet.
Go
Erica.
steal it from somebody else, Erica.
that brings us to what we're actually going to talk about next.
That's how we're gonna meet, isn't
The
it?
actual session 0 part of character creation that we've made our way through over the course of several hours. Now we get to decide, do your characters know each other or have connections in common? Awkward silence.
Well, where are we starting off?
Well, we're
in this
city, right? My plan is to start us off in just this port city. Maybe are you already based out of here, or are you visiting, or are you just arriving? Or are you from a neighboring community and doing business in town? These are questions I want to ask around. And additionally, I have some options pre-written to some of my plans. I have a local pharmacist, an apothecary, who has perhaps a reason to deal with each of you as so far presented. Perhaps someone who is being sought at for the knowledge they hold. Perhaps someone who is teaching how to infuse magic into cooking and put up an entertainer who's been kicked out of their home. And perhaps someone who was willing to finish the tutelage of someone who was kicked out of wizard school for disorderly conduct.
Doodle. Yeah, I need a book. I need some arcane book. Where am I gonna find that?
So one or two of you could choose to be perhaps involved or apprenticing or boarding with this apothecary, or one or you could be coming to seek them, or two of you be coming to seek them for your own purposes.
I have another possible idea. I don't know if this
Go
is
right ahead.
gonna work.
That's why we're enjoying hearing about
Something
this.
Very similar to this. Maybe since we all have this weird stuff that you gave us.
Yes.
Thank you. What if we were all going to a pawn shop to kind of appraise all these weird things?
To get information about these weird things you've come across?
I don't know how it would have us connect for more than like 5 minutes, but I don't know. You're the DM. You're smart.
That's a nice idea.
Hey, I've got this receipt also.
We could start in a less reputable pawn shop because there are some odd things you guys have come across.
I need to fence some goods that I stole from some pockets.
That's good.
Okay, that's why you're coming.
I mean, that I acquired
Yeah, I found them in the river.
from means.
Yeah.
You don't need to know.
I think I want to be just starting out. I told you on my journey, so I don't know. By the way, part of the character is that I don't really know I've been kicked out by my parents. I think they're just like trying to help me by getting me to go out in the world.
Out in the world and
or
Oh, no.
The other villagers are just like, yeah, you should show your talents somewhere else. So
Okay.
I want to have like literally just left the neighboring trading
kingdom,
town.
I heard you have this.
or just disembarked off a ship.
Yeah.
Because it's a port city.
And so maybe I realized that 15 gold probably will not help me survive, and I'm seeing if any of the stuff I have is pawnable. I guess.
Okay.
That could work for me in that particular thing, or with the apothecary, like what you said, I could be like boarding.
I'm not trying to get rid of stuff.
Okay.
I heard this pawn shop has a thing, but they don't know its worth.
Okay. Interesting. I like those two ideas. So you've just arrived in the city and you're looking to spend something to get some cash, so we're nixing you on the connection to the apothecary.
I mean, I can still do that as well.
Okay, well,
that was just.
if you I like the idea of you just arriving and being fresh-faced in this town.
Yeah, I could do either of that. I could have just arrived at the apothecary.
And you're going to be boarding with
Yeah. Oh.
Dice Tower.
Yeah.
Time-honored tradition.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I saw Laura's lined up like, I could do better than that.
So those are your ideas on top for your arrival. You're looking for something that they don't know has value, but word has gotten to you that they have something.
Correct.
And I'm going to say, does this sound interesting? They are not aware they are in possession of they think they're just in possession of an old sword, but they don't know they're in possession of a courtly elven blade to one of the missing cultures.
A courtly?
Like an elven court blade, perhaps. Like the blade of an elvish noble, and you happen, in your studies, to find out where...
Yeah, that looks kind of shiny. I like it. It's sparkly. It's blue.
Oh, no.
I like it.
Just gotta have it.
Themed.
And you're out looking for this piece of an esoteric culture, because that's what you do.
That's what I do.
And...
What's yours again?
if we're going to start this at a pawn shop, as it were.
I got goods to sell.
You got goods to sell,
Can I
yeah.
put somebody in line? Because that's how I roll.
All right. Well, I'm just going to do a quick roll of.
Don't say that. This is as far as I got last time.
Do you still want to have a connection to the apothecary? Okay, mixing that. But I will note this NPC does have persistent presence in the setting, and if you need potions, they are a person you will be able to find in the city.
It's making it tougher.
I'll come back for poisons another time.
Okay. You saw what I was trying to set up. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we come up with names for our characters?
Yes, we should. Well, I'm going to roll up something that you've stolen that you don't know what it is, but I'll give you a brief description for you to try and sell. And just find the table I want in this other book that is not the same trinket table everyone else has rolled on before.
Because we have such good luck with it.
Yeah, this is a slightly different table for different purposes, if it even is anywhere in here. Where is it?
Jewel Soul?
No, I was trying to think of, okay, my character wants to come up with a performance name that she thinks sounds really cool.
No, that's adorable.
So her name is Gita Jewel Soul, because it sounds fancy.
I love
but it's
it.
really lame.
No, I love it. It's perfect.
I would think it's lame.
It's because it is lame.
It's lame, but that's what makes it perfect.
Nice. Because I'm bad at coming up with last names. So good, I'll use my badness to make it sound lame. Nice. If anyone is interested, the way I like to come up with names is I go to behindthename.com, and then you can search meanings of names.
Same.
And look for them in different cultures.
Fan fiction author.
Also that.
Do you know how many OC
Okay, all
babies
right.
I've had to name and give middle names?
All right.
Ay.
Just trying to know.
Here we go. Gothic trinkets.
Oh god, I'm just all up in my microphone.
Yep.
Ew.
I think the microphone probably got all those. For you.
And especially you, babe.
You have a music box.
You know who you are.
Aw.
That
Did I
you,
take that from a kid?
you stole a music box.
No. I only take from the...
A music box that maybe if you wind it really slowly.
Are you saying some sexual things right now?
What?
No, we're talking about a Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were making a joke earlier this morning about
Okay,
it.
I
You weren't
wasn't
there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she was there.
No, she wasn't. It was in Starbucks.
Sorry, forgot.
Jesus, Laura, that was in my ear.
Sorry, I'm drinking.
Delicious. So that is what you have pickpocketed and you're coming to sell. So
Okay.
now, what's your character's name?
Wow, what a dick.
Briar Greenwood.
Stop that.
Eric,
Stop that. No, Eric is not allowed to name things.
Why? It's not really a tiefling name, is it?
Well,
It's very
in the
pretty.
book it says humans like to name their kids something normal so that they blend in.
Something normal.
That's good, actually. I didn't
Family could be
realize
from an
that.
area that's near a green wood, and that name sticks for parts of the village.
Oh, Briar is a really pretty name.
Thank you. I know.
Briar Greenwood is so corny, though.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know what? You know
We're
what?
playing D&D
Jewel
now.
Soul is less cheesy.
Okay, look, I have for Cynthia.
Oof.
Tough, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Willoughby.
I see how you spelled Willoughby.
Yeah. Willow.
Ugh.
It's gotta be lame, cute.
I like the name Briar.
I do like Briar. I'm gonna stick with
Briar is fine. Briar is fine on its own. Greenwood is fine on its own. Do not put the two together.
that. Okay, Wormwood.
Coño.
That's not one of the languages in this game.
You don't know that.
That's true, I don't know.
You don't know that. Do you speak Old Elvish? No, I didn't think so. Yes, I do.
Can we please play as if old
I
Elvish?
was just Spanish. Do you know Elvish? What do you have on there?
I don't know a lot of old Elvish, but my parents taught me a phrase.
It's the first word I learned.
Ay, Dios mío.
And my other go-to is just my usual
Which one?
game name is Eris.
So just do
Goddess
Eris.
of Chaos.
That's nice. Eris is good.
Eris
Okay, so
Eris Greenwood.
is nice.
Eris Briarwood.
Ooh, Eris Briarwood is good.
Okay, Queens.
All right.
Like,
Eris
Eris
Briar.
Briarwood.
Yeah.
do we have to have surnames?
If you don't want to.
Okay, I didn't think of one.
Is that or is that not a very Dominican name?
Maybe it's just the name you're going by.
It's not.
It's
Like
not.
how-
Okay.
If it were more
Gotcha,
like
an alias.
Told me.
Greek Roman, then it would
Okay.
be.
All right. I almost took one of the Greek names.
And if you want to tell me your character's real name in secret, and it gets brought up when someone from their past shows up, that's also an option.
Oh no, I've only come up with the first name. I didn't.
That's fine,
come up
then
with
you
the
don't need a
last name.
family
We
name.
need the last name right now, to
I
be
don't
honest.
think so either.
So
I
Eris
just came up with the
Briarwood.
last name because
Yeah.
it sounds, it's Gita Jewel Soul.
Dude, I love it so much.
That's my
I love
stage
it
name that I
so-
just came up with.
No, it's beautiful. I love it so much.
Okay. And Venus, what do you got?
Embrin.
Embrin?
Ooh.
That's
Oh, it's spelled so cute too.
Embrin or Embrin?
Embrin. AEMBRON.
That's really cute. Dang, that's hot.
I forgot how I came up with it.
Character you've not even met yet.
What?
What?
You can call me Amy or Emmy. It's fine.
Okay. So we have
No.
names. We have.
I do what I
We've
want.
established that we're going to start this campaign in, of all places, a pawn shop
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
for varying purposes. And. Well, let's establish a few more outlying bits of information that we have.
Sure.
Based on the characters we have here, as we figure out. So your characters don't know each other going into this, it seems.
No.
And she's dropping any connection to the apothecary. Do either of you want to have a reason to seek this person out, or that might come up in your recollection of who might know something important?
Yeah.
What was my original connection to the apothecary? I was gonna stay with them.
You're boarding there because you're learning from them because you have some alchemical and cooking skills, and perhaps you're learning from them, or you're coming to learn.
Yes.
Sorry, maybe the apothecary is your bud who sent you a scroll. Like, I got some new stuff in.
Oh.
Come hop on by. Pick
Me?
it up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
A friend of the family who you've in fact perhaps been sent to, and is waiting your arrival.
That's cool.
So the apothecary is waiting for both of us then.
Well,
Or no, whichever one of you wants to be looking for them. They might be expecting a visit from someone who wants to know something from them.
I think for my character, they're not really thinking about, studying the magic right now.
Yeah.
I think they just want to focus on
The performance.
I just want to focus on my music, man.
focus on
So we'll.
my creative flow.
So we can table any connection to the apothecary from you for now, because you've just
Yeah.
arrived. You're looking for coin. You're looking for a place to throw in with, basically.
Unrelated, I was thinking this character kind of sounds a little bit like Phoebe from Friends.
Oh my.
A little
Smelly
bit.
cat.
Smelly cat.
Smelly. You were really watching.
I literally am in the middle of like season 7.
Oh my god.
What am I feeding you? Okay, let's
Sorry,
move
never
on.
seen.
Oh my God,
What?
Erica,
We have to fix that.
you would love Joey. He's actually my favorite character.
Okay.
Favorite character.
I will take
right?
your word for it.
Yeah, he's very cute
All right.
and
That's all I
very
need.
dumb.
You're watching the show. It's very 90s.
It's
Yeah,
very
it's super
and
90s.
There's a lot of issues that would not be tolerated.
Oh my
today.
God.
Let me tell you.
Hello.
Like lots of sexism, homophobia, transphobia.
There's no diversity
There's no
whatsoever.
diversity?
It's
Okay, I
all
noticed-
white people
I noticed
plus
that.
Ross's girlfriend that one time who is Asian.
Oh yeah.
And that was a plot point, wasn't it?
Yes.
That she was Asian.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
This is
good.
supposed to be downtown, and it's all white people.
And they're like somehow never at work. They can always just
Rachel
take
is.
time. Well, yeah.
Even though
but everyone
she's
can always-
sitting down, but
Everyone can
she's
always
there.
take time off to just go to this coffee shop in the middle of the day, including, well, the professor kind of makes sense because you can like not have coffee
Yeah.
or something, but like
The actor makes sense.
the actor makes
The
sense.
transponster
Actually,
makes
the
sense.
massager makes sense. as
Monica,
well.
get back in the kitchen.
You know what the there is a room
Professional chef.
there is a rumor about how the show was originally planned to be ended. And that
Spoilers.
the show was originally planned to be ended, apparently, or one of the ideas for the end of the show was that all these characters or their crazy stories and personalities are all made up by Phoebe, who's not even in Central Perk at the end. She's just sitting at that fountain from the beginning, opening of the episode. And we see her looking at the coffee shop at these people who are sitting there, who are these people who she's made up personalities for. And we see them interacting and have completely different lives, personalities than we're used to seeing.
Right.
And it was all just the imagination of someone who was lonely.
And that she didn't have a twin. I
Right.
heard that too. That Ursula was also made up.
That was an alternate ending that I've seen discussed a couple places.
Interesting.
It's kind of like the Saint Elsewhere ending with the
I don't know
the snow globe.
I don't know.
It was like I forget. It was a soap opera set in the hospital, but at the end of it, it was actually this kid who's on the show, but the kid is nonverbal and autistic, just staring at a snow globe of the hospital.
So it was all.
Oh,
Oh, I say elsewhere. That's the first thing that pops in my head.
There's some shows like that.
Wasn't that Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
I think that's a fan theory. I don't think that's a real thing.
Oh. I don't know. I don't watch these shows.
But we digress.
Yes. Right.
So let's
anyway,
establish some things that have come up.
Yes.
So just a gnome village somewhere within this, around this kind of like inland sea area.
Yeah, I
'Cause the
figured it
world-
could be like literally the next one over.
Okay.
Or
from
Wait, it's
Southgate.
close.
Okay.
It's a port town, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
It is.
it's a port or it's a
Southgate.
harbor?
It is
Like-
both. There's a harbor
Okay.
and a port.
Oh, I do know ancient Elvish.
Well, blah-ti-da.
Surprise!
All right, so that's that. Okay, looking for important stuff. And knowledgeable. Erica, you were kicked out of wizard school. Do we want to try and define and place this wizard school somewhere else in the world?
Scotland.
Okay. Sure.
Is it near Southport? Is it near South? Is it near this port town, or is it?
No, it's far away. I don't want to
Okay.
see these people again. They're assholes.
Do
They
you
don't-
want-
They don't get me.
Do you want
my
to name the
God.
school, or leave that to me in the story later?
I'll leave it to you.
Okay. So I got to name a
Definitely.
wizard school later, not in the first few sessions. Making notes, taking notes. We're going to start in a pawn shop. And you're all in the city for those, you've just basically arrived looking for cash. You're looking for something they got. You're trying to sell your ill-got gains. And now I have to figure out a reason for your party to come together in such auspicious circumstances. And create a quick pawn shop.
Can some like gross person walk in and like expose himself, and we're all like huddled in a corner?
Erica, this is too real.
This is this is real life.
Before we actually do that, let's have a moment to talk about comfort zone. And being aware of the comfort zones at everyone at the table and being on board with a general concept of what everyone at the table is comfortable with.
Whatever.
Awkward silence. Are we looking at the camera? I'm looking.
Anything,
I am.
everything.
Hang on, I'm still writing.
I'm looking enough for both.
What, about comfort zones or?
No, about my character. What?
Okay, go right away, right. And please also tell us a little bit if it's stuff that you want to come up
No,
now.
it's just
Information
we're-
that's
yeah,
personal.
the game.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Good idea. I should write what we do every week because I'm definitely gonna.
Yeah, I just also started.
Yeah.
Well, I'm keeping notes for myself. And I
Yeah,
have,
Mike
but-
started
A
note
record.
taking, and I was reminded that I should also be doing that because what else am I using my pretty new book for? I'm just gonna write 5 lines in it and call it a day. No. So,
I just wrote the word Southgate and then wrote some numbers and then wrote Aria, which is a name I didn't even choose. So that's what I've done so far.
you started writing down my stuff.
I did.
You gave up.
So I'm just going to take a moment to talk about the setting so we can get a general idea of the local geography.
Okay.
Southgate is a port town on the northern shores of an inland sea.
The northern
Of an inland sea, yeah.
Southgate.
Yeah, it's to the south of the
something.
kingdom it's in.
Oh, okay.
The capital of this kingdom, which we're going to call the Kingdom of Gate. Yes, I know, very original.
Kingdom of what?
Gate,
Gate.
yes.
Okay.
It is a small kingdom that also serves as like a pass-through area between 2 larger powers, perhaps, or 2 larger regions separated by mountains. In fact, part of north of Southgate is part of this mountain chain. That there's also a mountain valley Vale that leads into the city of Northgate, the
Okay,
capital.
wait. So we got. Where is the mountain range? It's north of Southgate.
It's north of Southgate and extends east and west.
Okay.
And it breaks into a break in the mountain range inside that is like a mountain inlet valley that ends on the other side of the mountain, like wraps around this long valley up top. So we're in the lowlands by the shore, then you go up into this mountain vale, and then there's the Northgate Kingdom. There's a little farming in the vale, mostly farming south of the mountains along inland from the coast.
I'm lost.
It's geography,
Wait,
fantasy
I'm
geography.
trying to draw
I
a
know.
map here.
Yeah, and
I have this in my head. I'm not articulating
no,
the
no, no,
broad
no, no,
strokes.
no, no, no. It's fine. You're just going a little too
Accurate so
fast.
far? These are mountains.
Yes.
I'm an artist. I don't know if you can see this. This is
Please,
what I went to
please
school
send
for.
me a scan at your earliest convenience.
I'm going to draw it a little better than this.
Okay, and
later.
I'll also create some other notes about the local region.
Okay.
Is it surrounded by mountains on all sides except for the ocean?
No, 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 no.
Just the north?
The coast continues off, but the mountains go off and around and then loop back towards the
Wait,
sea.
how are there mountains
Tectonic plates don't matter. This is a fantasy world. Drop any concept of geology or geography. It doesn't make sense. Trust me. Look at a
You are
map.
telling that to the wrong person.
Look at a map of the Forgotten Realms and tell me it makes sense. It doesn't.
Where do the mountains go from here?
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm gonna.
How are there mountains to the north if Southgate is on the north shore?
The north shore of the ocean, and north of Southgate are mountains.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Spatial reasoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that right?
No.
Oh.
What is this ocean?
I don't know. Is that a mountain? No,
Okay,
this
so
is
the way I'm seeing it, okay, I'm just gonna draw squares because that's what I do. Southgate is here. This is ocean. There are mountains here.
To the west.
Oh, that's because I'm just okay.
To the west of Southgate, as the shore starts to veer south and more land is visible because you're on a curve of this inland sea. There are forests at the base of the mountains further to the east, and a few isolated towns and farming villages.
To the east.
Okay.
Wait.
That feed into Southgate as a port town and as a harbor of point of trade.
So they go here into there.
But this is the ocean.
What?
That's the ocean.
It's an inland sea, so it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I know. This is.
Okay. This is the ocean.
We need this visual reference. We need
I
it
will
so
Right
bad.
now.
When we do our next filming date, I will have a visual reference.
Okay.
If you can draw me a very rudimentary map, I can make a nice looking one.
I will
Sorry,
send you
that's
one.
not very nice the way I said that. You know what I mean.
No offense taken.
Are you
Artificial.
sure you don't have the what? The vicious mind?
She does have it.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh.
You do.
Oh God, that hurt me in my brain.
sorry, my brain
I've taken
like
psychic
that.
damage.
I'm really sorry if that came out not very nice. That's not what I meant.
It's fine. Trust me, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna
So.
stop talking. Yep.
Sorry.
As we're counting the clock down,
Sorry, yeah.
let's talk a bit about the state of the world. I've already mentioned the elves have been gone for a long time, like long outside of human memory, except for the rumor of the wood elves as a reclusive bunch.
So are they myths, or do people actually think they exist? Know that they existed?
Well, the dwarves remember that the elves were,
Okay.
but it's faded out of a lot of the human consciousness.
Okay. So
Like, but when humans think elves, they think of the wood elves, who are known recluses.
but there are creatures old enough to remember that they actually existed, so we know it's not.
Yes.
Okay.
And it is, and like the fact that the elves vanished is part of legend. And then, like 500 years ago, like something happened and some water tables rose, if that makes any sense, and the dwarven holds of the region, of like a few kingdoms around, rose too high that the dwarves had to abandon their old mountain homes. And something was in there that made it untenable to stay in the parts of the mountain that were above the water table.
Okay.
Not a lot is known about that because it's like this great migration, and the holds still have some people there, but very few, and they're mostly ruins, submerged ruins. Halfling communities are peppered through countryside alongside humans and other races. Gnome communities, you'll find gnomes wherever, and like literally you'll find them anywhere and have their own settlements perhaps where they do focus on small villages and the craft of magic or tinkering. And you'll find tieflings among the human population as well born into it. And in the wilderness there are also tribes of humans and orcs that shirk the nature of civilization as we know it. Raiders are common even on the open seas.
Raiders?
Raiders.
Okay.
Which is why this port is so important, because it's a safe harbor.
Important? Don't laugh at that. I'm gearing up for my character.
Gate is coming up on at least potentially an inheritance crisis between the aging crown and the heirs. But there's no conflict. There was conflict like 80 years ago between the kingdoms on either side of Gate, and let's say a 15-year-long war. The wounds are still healing from, but perhaps leaving some distaste in the mouth of people from both regions beyond this kingdom.
With each other or with Gate
With each
itself?
other, but not with Gate. Part of Gate wound up being a battleground for these two nations, because it was the only major connecting point. and so was the waterway. So that was a whole thing. The Kingdom of Gate ended the conflict.
Gotcha.
Which is why both nations are looking with uncertainty towards the matter of the aging crown, and the matter of the inheritance of the kingdom, and the matter of potential marriage alliances. Other kingdoms, of course, at war. Word may spread here or there from the distance across the sea, or perhaps in the far north or the far south. But that doesn't matter perhaps too much to this place in this time. For things are, aside from a bit of banditry, things are stable. But we'll go into the actual adventure of things and bits of conflict that may be sown when we come back in a little bit for the first episode. Well, a little bit for us, like a week for you. I know this might have seemed like it took weeks on the other side of this camera right now, but
It felt like it.
But we will be back with session 1 of Dansu Dragons.
Yay!
Wow. I hope so.
That was not enthusiastic at all.
Do we want to try again? I'm fine if we want to try again.
No, that's
great.
that's fine.
Blow out the mics.
Okay.
Okay.
See everyone next time.
Bye.
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 Well, we almost started a game, my boyfriend and a friend of ours. First session, we made a character. I made this beautiful paladin bird woman named Isobel. And then he upped and moved to California. He was our DM.
Well, thanks to Mike, our current DM, I have been, as I like to say, D&D adjacent for many, many years, because all my friends have played it, but I have never actually played it myself properly. I've done, like, one-off characters here and there, but I'm, like, not fantastic at it, not that great at coming up with a character or staying in character, so we're gonna see how this goes.
So after the first session, that was it. It was over. So it's been a while. I'm just here, and we're gonna do some D&D.
But yeah, I mean, I almost played a game of Vampire the Masquerade once in college. Don't look at me like that. And thank you, Michelle. But unfortunately, the party couldn't stay together, and, you know, it was college, so we didn't really have time. But yeah, anyway, it's always been kind of interesting to me, so yeah, it'll be fun to do it for the first time, basically, with other first-timers.
Absolutely none. I've never done this before. I've always been interested. I've tried before. I get stuck on character sheets, and that's as far as I go, so maybe we'll get further than that today.
I would like to commit a lot of murder. Just a lot of slaughter. Just get those feelings out through a nice outlet. That's it. That's really what I'm hoping for.
To take away, lots of gold from NPCs. Take away, I don't know, I think it'll be fun. Like, I want to be able to play D&D properly, since all my friends like to play it. and I'd like to like remember how to use a character sheet. That'd be pretty fun. And hope it entertains people. We'll see how that goes as well.
I don't know. I'm coming into this completely blind and deaf, and I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I hope to gain. I don't know how any of this is going to go. We're just going to see what happens.
I'm the worst interviewer.
Well, I know for a few years you guys have talked about wanting to play a game. It's come up multiple times in conversation. Additionally, when I actually sat down and thought about, can I actually do a D&D stream show, I thought, who do I know that might be interested, and who do I know who also has a small bit of online fan base and following already to at least help us get a jump start? And also who has pretty great performance experience and charisma. You guys have great chemistry.
Though, because mine has nothing to do with anything.
No, please.
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Your ideal Sunday.
My ideal Sunday. You're asking a fat guy in a sweater vest to explain his favorite Sunday? We're going to be here a while.
It was the first thing that came to mind. I'm sorry.
Okay. My ideal Sunday. Start off with a boat dish. Preferably glass, not metal. Metal, the temperature changes too quickly, and while that helps support the ice cream, if there's something too warm nearby, it's going to get melty faster. So, glass boat dish with a lip. Then, I'm going to say 3 scoops on the left side of the curve of the boat of chocolate chip cookie dough. 3 scoops on the right of cookies and cream. 1 scoop in the middle of regular vanilla. Then, sprinkling of rainbow sprinkles, 2 cherries, and whipped cream around the vanilla. Then hot fudge. You see, this is why I went with glass instead of metal for the bowl. I'd like to say I look forward to running this game. I look forward to playing with everyone, seeing what characters they create beyond the ideas that have already been talked about on Twitter briefly and in the message. And I hope we have a fun campaign.